My energy is so much today. I'm literally making another cup of coffee right now, but I already just like wanted to start. And what's so crazy is like this whole time I've been convinced that coffee's a scam. Like I tell people that all the time, like coffee's a scam. Like it's not real. It's all placebo. Which, okay, I know that like technically it's not. You know, like I know that, but like I've entered a brand new world today, which is so funny because I literally drank coffee all day for like so many years. But like it was for the taste and more of the experience. It wasn't because I actually thought that it gave me energy or something. Can I just say, this morning I have a cup of coffee, which I usually don't drink coffee, and I haven't for months, but something just like told me I should. And bro, this is only half calf. Like what? All of a sudden, after I'm like halfway through this coffee, I start saying some profound stuff. Like my thoughts are just, you know, in sync. Like they feel perfect. Like, dare I say, it feels like I popped a natty, but not to the point where I feel like sick and like a zombie and like I'm off drugs, you know? Low key, like I was feeling quick. Like I was feeling super, super, super smart. So like, not to be crazy, but like I think that coffee might be my new like drug of choice. It's ready. I have to go get it before it gets cold. Hold on. Hey, what's up? Okay, so what's really, whoa, oh my god, I almost spilled it on myself. And you know, this is actually my foot. Isn't that crazy? No, I'm playing. That's not my foot. But did you believe it? Because I would. I'm such a gullible person. It's insane. So basically, I'm just coming on here right now to share about the crazy realizations when I was drinking coffee. My coffee drug trip. My coffee shrooms trip. I'm a psychonaut drinking coffee to have realizations. That's what I'm going with. Anyways, maybe I should like start documenting every thought I have when I drink coffee. I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm being so for real right now. I was like super thinking deep about like life purposes because that's something that actually triggered so much of my darkness. Well, the main source of actually my entire depression, like out of everything like that I've ever been through in my life, the main thing that kept me up at night and that would make me cry all day long every day was the fact that I didn't know what my life purpose was. And I felt like I was just like, well, why did I come here then? Like this can't all be for nothing. I like to do everything in my life with purpose, even if it's small things. Like I like to do everything very, very, very intentionally. And so waking up every day and not being intentional about what I was doing literally destroyed me, like consumed me. I was just thinking, okay, well, does everyone have a significant life purpose? Does everyone on earth have a significant part to play? And I've always known that, you know, like that we're all helping each other out and we're all the same and we're all one consciousness. And I understand that there's no right or wrong. There's no above or below. No one is, you know, significant is also a word we made up that has, you know, kind of a fear-based connotation because significance insinuates that there is something insignificant. And I don't believe that there's anything insignificant going on in the universe at all. And so I was just like, okay, but what about NPCs? What about robots? Like, is that real? Like, or not, are they real, but like, are their lives as significant as people who are conscious? But I realized like so many of my actions, you know, like that I take in my life, I've taken unconsciously, but they've ended up doing something great. And there's so many people that we could look at and say they're a significant person, but they were operating their entire life unconsciously. So then I was like, okay, is it our birth charts? You know, like I'm trying to go through every route of like, why are we all so different? And we're all collectively here right now. But why? I was thinking about how there are people that have more responsibility. Maybe some people just have a bigger responsibility than others, but that's also false because that's all subjective. You know, that's all perspective. Like, you know, the president could have a lot of issues and have a lot of problems, you know, on their backs, you know, like trying to figuring out, you know, stuff. And that job could be just as stressful as, you know, a minimum wage job. Like, if not, that minimum wage job could be more stressful depending on the person, depending on the job, depending on, you know, so many different factors. So it's like, there's no greater job and there's no less significant job. And the only reason why I use job as like a word for purpose is because I just mean like, your contribution to Earth, whether or not you're making money from it or not. You know what I mean? Okay, I understand that you're done, dryer. Dryer, stop beeping. Okay, so then I was thinking, I don't know where I just left off. That whole dryer thing just really distracted me, but I was thinking about like good and bad and stuff like that, like that's all subjective. What is right and wrong? We have all these societal rules and beliefs that we think is right or wrong. So I like to use the dolphin analogy of, well, I'm very perplexed by dolphins, number one, because they are like way more intelligent than our species. And, with the intelligence, there has to be emotional intelligence, I assume. And with that, like, for example, a male dolphin will kill a female's baby in order to mate with her, if the baby's in the way, like they don't care. And same with hippopotamuses. They will actually murder the runt of the group of their litter or whatever. And in our society, if a female were to throw her kid in a garbage can, like, you get serious charges for that. But we decide that that's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? But other species decide that life isn't as important as we put, on life. And so I was like, okay, well, is life significant at all unless we give significance to it? And I know that we're all co-creating simultaneously, and we all need each other. So if you are in a loving frequency, you are going to want to collab, And maybe those dolphins are in a loving frequency. Maybe those hippopotamuses are in a fear frequency. They're like, uh-oh, I'm looking out for its survival. I'm going to kill it because it won't last on its own. Like, they notice that it's smaller, so it's like, better cut ties. But what if that hippopotamus is in a fear-based mentality? Fear of how it's going to grow up, fear of its survival, not in love. From my point of view, I think one of the biggest issues people face are conflicts with other humans. I've watched so many lives be destroyed because of toxic relationships. It's something that brings me to tears to talk about, and it's hard for me to witness. And there are so many toxic relationships that happen because people are desperate for love, right? People will do anything for love. People will kill for love. The series You on Netflix, how like he's willing to kill everyone in these girls' lives to protect them. He's willing to do anything out of fear of them not being happy or fulfilled or whatever. And Joe in the show, like, he thinks he's killing with good intention. He's like, well, I'm doing you a favor. Like, what do you mean? Like, how could you not see this from my perspective? Like, I love you so much, I'm literally willing to kill for you. But that's not love, that's fear. Fear of the partner not being happy. Taking responsibility for the partner's emotions. For so many years, it's been this, like, disgusting thing to be obsessed with yourself, and people get mad when you, like, are obsessed with yourself. And I don't think it's good to be obsessed with yourself if you think you're better. Like, you should not be prideful and think that you're better than anyone ever, but you should be super obsessed with yourself. Like, everyone should be. People are so addicted and desperate for love in other people because they don't have it within themselves, because we literally are mean to people who love themselves. And again, like, I'm, like, super one to be like, there's a fine line with being obsessed with yourself and loving yourself, because you don't want to, do it to the point where you're neglecting other people in your life. I love myself out of fear. I obsessed over myself from a place of fear because I didn't feel like I was good enough. But being on the other side of it and just unconditionally loving myself with my flaws too, because when I would love myself, in the past, I only praised the things that I liked about myself, but the things I didn't like about myself, I put myself down for, or I wouldn't talk about, because I was like, I don't want people to know the things I hate, Like, now, the difference is, like, I know I have a lot of flaws, and I'm just okay with being authentic, because, like, like, you can't not love the things that aren't perfect, or you will be depressed, and you'll be a slave to everything. You're going to be a slave to people, you're going to be a slave to a job, you're going to be a slave to money. You will be a slave to absolutely everything for your whole life if you don't embody that self-love. And that's also going against the rules. it's also going against the things that we say is right and wrong. And it's important to question, everything instead of accepting things as is. Like, oh yeah, we shouldn't do that. People who are in jail are bad people. No, they're not. Like, people aren't bad. Like, they go through things psychologically that, make them into whoever they are. And emotions are very interesting to me, and this got me on another wave, because the thing about emotions, and how we react is because we react emotions, energy and motion, they come from thoughts, beliefs, actions, right? And our brain picks up an experience and creates a narrative, and that provokes an emotional response. So, again, we could be reacting off things that happened a long time ago in the present moment, but I realized I'm super grateful for the way that my body processes things, because my body doesn't allow negative energy to reside in my temple. It doesn't work. I reject it. If I have a bad experience, I'm crying, and I have to get to the bottom of it. I can't exist in bad emotions. It physically, I can't do it. There's so many people that are nonchalant. There's people that don't cry. There's people that intellectualize their feelings, and that's also something I did for a long time. I was able to pinpoint everything wrong with me, but I didn't feel it. So I was like, yes, I have these issues. I deal with all of this. I am the way I am because of this stuff. And my life never changed because I wasn't releasing the energy. I was just mentally, noting it. Another thing is anger, which is so interesting to me. I think anger is an amazing emotion. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I wish I felt more of it, but I'm not an angry person, unfortunately. I think anger has so much power if it's used in the right way. The thing about anger is that it is a mask for sadness. So anger is something that is really used to protect you. And what's so funny that I realized is laughter and happiness protects anger. So a lot of people live these happy lives that are full of joy, and they don't even realize the depths of how messed up they are, because their entire being is protecting them from feeling literally any sort of negativity. So I realized this because there was one time that I got so mad. Well, this happens, not a lot, but there are select moments in time where I was so angry, I just start dying laughing. Because it's my body can't even handle all the anger I'm feeling, let alone the sadness, sadness is here, vulnerability, and then anger, power, and then laughter, laughing, happiness, bliss. I know a lot of people can relate to it, but when you just you just can't believe it. It's just a joke. Whatever's happening is so hard to handle. Your only option is to laugh. Obviously that's cool that our brain does that. That's a really cool coping thing. But if you are doing that for a long time, I can't see anything good coming of that. All of those repressed emotions. And I think that's what makes serial killers. For real. There's so much that meets the mind in the depths of the unconscious, and a lot of people aren't aware of it, because if you're in that much pain that you're just laughing and life is good, why would you change? Why would you change anything? I wouldn't. Hold on, I need to take a sip of this. I'm very alert. The answer to literally everything is love. Love, 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 love. I love, 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 love that. Praise yourself for everything you've ever done in your life. Be that bitch. Be that bitch. Literally. Only gas yourself up. That's the only thing. This is my advice. I'm literally giving advice right now. This is my Dr. Scott advice. If you feel something negative about yourself, question yourself. Say, why are we saying this about me? Why are we clowning on me? Because we have enough bullies out here in our external world. We can't be bullying ourselves too. Hell no. Hell no. I think be honest with yourself. Check yourself when you need to check yourself, but don't be mean to yourself. When I mess up, I'm just oh God, noted. I'll just be haha, neutrally, don't do that again. But if you sit there and beat yourself up for your mistakes and your shortcomings and whatever, you're only making stuff worse, because it's in the past for the most part. And if it is in the present, I don't believe in the present. We're only in the future. It's just okay, move forward. In Meet the Robinsons, when they all get so excited and they're you failed! and like failure is such a good thing. Like failure is an amazing thing. You learn so much from failure. Like I don't even like the word failure because that has so much negative connotation. Like it's just an experience, like point blank period. Like that's it. Like that's all. Love is confidence. Love is faith. Love, 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 love. Just love. And don't love out of fear, love out of love. Love out of freedom, not restriction. Love is peace. Salutations.